I had a seemingly normal roommate for the first few months after moving into a new apartment. We would chat casually, share a few laughs, and go about our daily routines without any major issues. However, things took a strange turn one day, and I found myself in the middle of a bizarre and unsettling situation. It all began when my roommate started exhibiting odd behavior. They would disappear for days on end without any explanation, only to return as if nothing had happened. It was as if they had completely blanked out and had no recollection of where they had been or what they had done during their absence. Curiosity turned into concern as I noticed other peculiarities. Late at night, I would hear strange noises emanating from their room. It was a mix of whispers, muffled sounds, and occasional shuffling. It was eerie, and I couldn't help but wonder what they were up to behind that closed door. I tried to bring up the topic with my roommate, hoping to gain some clarity and put my mind at ease. But every time I approached the subject, they brushed it off with a nonchalant smile and changed the topic. It was as if they were intentionally avoiding any discussion about their odd behavior. My anxiety grew with each passing day. I started questioning their trustworthiness and wondered if they had something to hide. Was there something sinister happening behind those closed doors? I couldn't help but let my imagination run wild. One sleepless night, curiosity got the better of me. Unable to bear the mystery any longer, I decided to investigate. I tiptoed towards their room, my heart pounding in my chest. As I reached their door, I heard hushed voices and shuffled closer to eavesdrop. The conversation was indecipherable, as if in another language or a mere gibberish. It sent chills down my spine. Determined to uncover the truth, I mustered the courage to confront my roommate directly. I waited for them to return from their next disappearance. When they finally walked through the door, their expression blank, I knew it was now or never. I sat them down and poured out my concerns, explaining how their behavior had been unsettling and distressing. I asked them to be honest with me, to shed light on what was happening. But once again, they met my concerns with a hollow gaze and claimed ignorance. It was as if they were genuinely unaware of their strange actions. Frustration and fear washed over me. How could I continue living in this constant state of unease? When my parents returned home, we gathered around the security footage, desperate to unravel the truth. As we watched the recordings, our jaws dropped in disbelief. The back door swung open on its own accord, as if being pushed by an invisible force. The tapping sound persisted, haunting our ears, but the source remained invisible, elusive. Haunted by that night, my family made the unanimous decision to leave our home behind. We sought solace in a new community, hoping to escape the lingering shadows of that fateful break-in. Yet, deep down, the unanswered questions and the unsettling memories would forever be etched in my mind, a reminder that sometimes, even within the confines of our own homes, there are mysteries that defy explanation. Story 2. I sat alone in my dimly lit living room, the soft glow of the lamp casting long shadows on the walls. The house was eerily quiet, and the only sound was the ticking of the clock on the wall. Suddenly, the silence was shattered by the shrill ring of the phone. Startled, I reached for the receiver and brought it to my ear. But there was no voice on the other end, only a chilling silence that made my skin crawl. I furrowed my brow, wondering if it was a wrong number or a prank call. Just as I was about to hang up, a strange sensation washed over me, a feeling that something was terribly wrong. Without warning, the phone rang again, its piercing tone reverberating through the room. My hand trembled as I answered, hoping to put an end to the unnerving silence. But once again, there was nothing but an eerie hush, as if the line had been swallowed by a void. A shiver ran down my spine, and a cold sweat broke out on my forehead. Who was calling me? And why was there only silence? It felt like a sinister presence was lurking on the other end, toying with my sanity. Trying to shake off my growing unease, I disconnected the call and set the phone aside. But before I could even take a breath, it rang again. Dread washed over me, paralyzing my movements. I hesitated, my finger hovering over the receiver, but curiosity mingled with fear. Summoning my courage, I pressed the phone against my ear, preparing for the worst. A whisper, barely audible, crept through the receiver, chilling me to the core. "You shouldn't have answered," the voice hissed, its words dripping with malice. My heart pounded in my chest, and a knot tightened in my stomach. Who was this person? How did they know I had answered their call? Panic surged through me, and I yanked the phone cord from the wall, hoping to silence the haunting voice. But as the line went dead, the ringing persisted. It echoed through the empty house, growing louder and more menacing with each passing moment. The walls seemed to close in around me as I desperately searched for an escape, my heart pounding in my ears. I stumbled back, my breath ragged, my mind racing with terrifying possibilities. The silent phone call had become a relentless assault on my sanity, a reminder that I was not alone, even in the supposed safety of my own home. As I stood there, trembling and haunted by the phantom caller, a chilling realization washed over me. This was no ordinary prank. Something far more sinister was at play, a malevolent force that had invaded my sanctuary, tormenting me with its silent whispers and unrelenting presence. I was trapped in a nightmarish game of hide-and-seek with an unseen entity. And in that moment, I knew I would never feel safe again, for the echoes of that haunting call would forever linger in the depths of my mind, a constant reminder that evil can manifest in the most ordinary of places.